I'm Jalyn, and this is my friend Christina. We're both freshmen here at Indiana University. Indiana is actually one of the largest public research institutions in the United States. All across the nation, colleges and universities are actually working to combat the issue of freshman retention rates. Dropout rates are increasing because many freshmen are beginning to abandon their studies or choosing to abandon their studies after even just their first year or first semester on campus.
This issue has been well publicized over the past few years. Major news sources such as CNN and even New York Times have brought light to the diminishing class size, and a few references have also been made in entertainment, media, and music.
This issue has attracted such large attention all across the nation just because a college education is practically demanded by society. Businesses and employers, they want people who have obtained degrees in order to be the ones working on their teams. Therefore, it's practically essential that students are going and matriculating through some form of college curriculum in order to be successful. And although many students do notice this, they do find factors or elements within the university environment that tend to be inhibiting them from matriculating on and experiencing a second year.
At such a prestigious university, such as Indiana University, where you get a very wide experience, one might wonder why students choose not to continue their studies or why they're not able to excel in their studies.
For many freshmen, it can be troublesome because it is their first time living on their own. They have to learn to adapt to managing their own education and time. Struggling with self-regulation and independence can sometimes hinder student success and make them want to drop out or abandon their studies. Sometimes students will even leave school because they find that it is not worth the money or they simply can't afford it. So now, why should IU care about retention rates? Well, for one, the university can be impacted over an extended period of time in terms of its faculty and programs just because a lot of its funding is dependent upon the graduating class sizes here on campus. And of course, this research that they're pursuing is very important to maintaining the prestigious reputation that it has here at the university. One of the major responsibilities of professors and staff on campus is to conduct research that contributes to their field of study. However, they do need to acquire the appropriate amount of funding to go toward both the equipment and facilities on campus so that they can continue to supply such cutting-edge research. Explicitly stated, IU needs this money in order to go towards the research, and this is where retention rates kick in. Because as I stated earlier, a lot of the funding is dependent upon the amount of students that are graduating or successful on campus. So therefore, by enabling more funding, it's enabling it to build its reputation as a major public research institution. Not to mention, most of this money comes from alumni and companies or organizations that believe in IU's vision to produce successful students who are ready to enter the workforce. So basically, IU needs its students to be excelling and succeeding in order to keep people believing in this mission. Since the school directly benefits from the likelihood of its students returning for a second year and matriculating through the system, it is in its best interest to maintain an environment that cultivates student learning and success. Christina already went ahead and headed over to the admissions building where she's there and she's going to tell us more about what we think the school can do to boost its retention rates.
According to College Factual, Indiana University rates among the best in the area of freshman retention, with a ranking of 89% of their freshmen returning for their sophomore year. Indiana University's score has gone up by 1.7% in the past few years, showing that some of the programs they have implemented to help incoming freshmen have indeed been working. One example of an effort to keep students on track is the Group Scholar Program, which aids students who are the first-generation college students and demonstrate need-based financial aid. Students admitted into this program participate in a summer program where they take courses to help prepare them for their future college endeavors. The Hudson and Holland program was also established to serve a similar purpose. It offers tuition assistance and academic support to high-achieving, underrepresented minority students.
Outside of these programs, IU lends students the opportunity to engage in a variety of workshops, career-related events, and also on-campus tutoring services. They've even begun to assess students' college readiness through AP and ACP programs. However, there's still always room for improvement, and IU must engage students, faculty, and administrators alike in this common goal in order to enhance its efforts.
Many of the programs designed are only to help students of specific scholarship programs, so greater effort needs to be in place to help the freshman student body as a whole. Looking at programs such as Hudson and Holland and seeing the benefits that come from first-year help It's very important that all students have the same opportunities that scholarship students do.
We need to extend these efforts to more students on campus. If we extend these efforts and expose them to some of the same information, they'd likely be better off. So maybe IU could embrace a program that's similar to Money Smarts and utilize it in order to get students more acclimated to the environment before they get here. They could familiarize them with the university structure, some of the support services, as well as any advice they have for them just coming in as freshmen.
Another suggestion that would require more work would be reconsidering the ratio between lectures and discussions throughout a given week. Instead of having 3 hours of lecture and 1 hour of discussion, it could be a set ratio of 2 to 2. Discussion often encourages students to actively participate and engage with the material, so it may increase students' comfort with their coursework. These sections could be led by professors or graduate students. Having graduate students serve as instructors may also create a different classroom dynamic, since they too are students and are closer in age than professors.
By connecting with the instructors and getting a better understanding of the material, students' self-efficacy and motivation should increase. If students are better motivated as well as can sense their ability to succeed, then they will be more likely to remain enrolled on the campus as well as strive to complete their 4-year degrees.
Jalyn even got the opportunity to talk to the Dean of the School of Education to see what he thinks we can be doing to further our efforts of combating the issue of college retention rate.
This past week, I attended a meet and greet for the new Dean of the School of Education, Dean Mason. We sat down and talked. Basically, here's what he had to say.
The transition to university life is just really, really tough for a lot of students. So things like living and learning communities, I think, are really good, expanding that so that we have people, when they come here, they're not only here for their academic purposes, but they're also here to be a part of the university. And so that, I think, is a way to really make people more comfortable and feeling at home. And then I think sort of what you were saying, making sure that there's good advising. Mm-hmm. And that we have experiences for students so that they really understand what lies ahead and what they need to do, so that they really are really familiar with what expectations and what they're going to be. And then I think peer tutoring programs is really an important one. So if you could have, more advanced students, juniors and seniors, who are working with freshmen and sophomores, I think that, from an academic standpoint, would help, but it would also help from a social standpoint, making sure that older students who've been here a while can know the ropes and kind of help students as they come in. And I think another thing is connecting students with faculty. A lot of undergraduate courses are taught by teaching assistants and graduate students and so on, as you know. Mm-hmm. And I think that's fine, but I also think the more we would be able to connect undergraduate students and freshmen in particular with faculty early on so that they see that part of the university, I think would be a really good thing. So those are just a few ideas that I think might help.
So in conclusion, although the environment can be very different and sometimes shocking because of how self-regulated it is, we believe all undergraduates are capable of succeeding if they are handed the right tools.
Thus, it is imperative retention rates are assessed and the university develops a system that ensures student success.